Hey, hope you guys are doing excellent today. I've been going live in the mornings to kind of share some thoughts with you. One of the things I want to talk about today is number one, do you monitor your financial health? Are you monitoring your financial health? Um, and reason for that is, and why that's important, I'm going to talk about number one, are you monitoring your financial health? How to actually do it? Why it's important to do it, and how it helps you prevent financial health disasters that you don't even see coming. Most people were not prepared for the whole COVID thing happening. They were not prepared for shutdowns. They were not financially prepared for that. Had the government not printed more money and given people to send people some money, PPP loans, all these different things. Had the government not printed money and done all that, the shutdown that they forced places to shut down, had not done that, a lot of people would have gone under. So actually, here's what's happening economically now. Throughout COVID, because people were afraid, they didn't know what would happen. Things got deferred. Student loan payments got deferred. All these things got deferred. And even some of the people's rent, they had rent moratorium, all these different things. So people were able to store more money. So people saved more money. And because they saved more money, they were able to pay down some of their debts, all these different things. However, because the government printed more and more money, they printed a lot of money, trillions of dollars. Most of the money that's in existence today did not exist 15 years ago. Not most, but like half of the money. So they increased the monetary supply. When you inflate the monetary supply, so you now have more dollars going after the same amount of goods, and you also shut down production because businesses shut down, so production happened less and less. You started to see things like, for a while there were like chip shortages, so the prices of cars went up because some of it due to chip shortages. You have supply chain issues, all these different things are happening. So when those things are happening, we have more dollars in the economy going after fewer goods because they inflated the amount of dollars. You have price inflation. So the cost of things rose to meet, the more money in the supply. It actually is starting to reduce the monetary supply now, trying to take money out of the economy because they're wanting to reduce the price inflation, and they want to control inflation. So people were not prepared. They were not financially prepared for shutdowns in the economy. They were not prepared for all those different things happening. And so you're getting back into that scenario now where people are stacking up more and more debt. So people are racking up more debt. In addition to that, their savings are being dwindled. The savings are being dwindled and spent now. This is happening with businesses. A lot of businesses, the percentage of businesses that are defaulting on their rent, the office space rent, is increasing higher and higher. So you have all these different things brewing, right? And I equate it to like your health, because somebody doesn't just have a heart attack. A healthy person doesn't just have a heart attack. A healthy person doesn't just have a stroke. A healthy person doesn't just have diabetes. It doesn't just suddenly happen. Okay. Something causes it. And there's a saying, and how does somebody go bankrupt? You guys know how somebody goes bankrupt? The way, if you guys have any questions, drop it if you guys have any questions in the comments, drop it in the comments. If you like this kind of content, feel free to share it. The way somebody goes bankrupt is slowly and then quickly. It doesn't happen suddenly. And so if somebody has a heart attack, it may have seemed sudden to them, but there are always signs of it. There are always signs. Something happens in your body. Something's happening, whether you detect the signs or you don't detect the signs. There are always some signs that something is happening, especially with your health. So same thing with your financial health. So just like how your body can get sick, you can get financially sick. Just like your body can be improving in conditions, your finances can be improving in conditions, your finances can be flat, or your finances can be going down. In reality, nothing stays flat. If your finances staying flat, it's actually going down because the price of things are going up. The cost of things are going up. So nothing in this universe stays flat, stays the same. Even if you stand on this planet, even if you just stand in one location, the planet itself is moving. The planet's moving. So even if you're standing, nothing stays the same. The planet is barreling rapidly through space. It's like spinning all around, all this stuff happening. So nothing stays the same in this universe. So it means it's either going to go up, improve a little bit, improve a lot, or it's going to go down. Right? So that's the laws and rules of this universe. And it applies to your health. It applies to your properties, your vehicles, your cars, your home. It applies to your relationships. And it certainly, most definitely applies to your money, your financial condition that you're in. It's either going to go up a little bit, go up drastically, or it's going to go down. And so how do you know what condition it is in, and what do you do? That's what I'm going to talk about today on this live stream. Monitoring your financial health. Because I'll give you an example. So we have a financial company. We've been, my wife Chelsea and I run our company. We've got 25 years experience in the financial industry. And then we've got staff that does different aspects of our business, from sales to different things in the business, right? And so we've had clients who a part of our business, life insurance. We do a lot of big life insurance policies, etc. So we've had a client where we applied for life insurance for the person, and they requested the person to do labs. So they went and did the lab work. Nowadays, you don't always have to do labs, but this particular person asked them to do labs. They go to do labs, and the lab work comes back. And the underwriter's the person who makes the decisions on approving a policy or not, and all that kind of stuff. So the underwriter comes back and says, your client should go to see a doctor right away. Like their levels are like highly elevated. Their A1C level, that measures like your blood sugar and all that. So it's how to tell somebody's diabetic or not. And so it measures. So it's like your A1C level is super high. He needs to go see a doctor like immediately. So the person had no idea they were diabetic. Zero idea. They were like on the cusp of something major happening to them. They instantly went to go see a doctor. The doctor was like, oh my God, this is like, we got to do something about these levels. So the doctor promptly handled it and brought the levels down. That's how the person found out they had diabetes. Because they were not monitoring different things, sometimes it goes out the window on these aspects of stuff. So how does that impact your finances? Well, here's what it does. So if you've got, you could be just traveling along, not thinking about it, and you could be a financial heart attack could be brewing that you're not necessarily thinking about, whether it's in your personal life or in your business. So by monitoring your finances, and I'll get to how you actually do that, by monitoring your finances, you can actually we can predict if this person is going to have a financial stroke, have a financial heart attack, have financial cancer, all of these different things that you can actually do something about it. So one of the things that we do is there's 12 vital signs to your financial health. Some of it includes cash flow, debt management, reserves, proper protection, build wealth. Then there's your burn rate, all these different things, right? It's different areas. So there's a dozen areas to your financial health. And I guarantee you are not monitoring them. You're not monitoring them. If you were, you would know what they all are. But I guarantee you're not monitoring them. And most of the people you know are not monitoring them either. Your parents didn't monitor these things. Your grandparents didn't monitor them. Nothing, right? So as a result of that, because you're not monitoring these different areas, you don't know when a threat could come your way. And a lot of times, one of the biggest things with business owners is they're operating a business, and then you have like a month where either your cash flow is like super tight, or you have like some unforeseen expense comes up, or something crazy happens, you got to change that, all kinds of different stuff, right? And then they get into what's called a cash flow crunch, where it's like things become super tight and everything becomes frantic and all that kind of stuff. So you can avoid all of that ever happening. And a way to do that is for you to monitor your financial health. So if you're not tracking and monitoring your financial health, if you ever been in a condition where you got hit with something financially and you were totally unprepared for it, whether it was like You were expecting some deals to happen, some stuff to go through, different things, and that didn't happen and everything. You were unprepared for that. That's an indication you were not monitoring your financial health. So monitoring how well you're doing financially isn't just like, oh, how much money's in my bank account. Most people don't even look at their investments account. Can you believe that? People will have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their investment account, in their retirement account that they've been putting in there. It just comes from the paycheck. It goes in their account. It's in there, and they have zero idea what it is doing. Zero. If somebody like literally robbed you, like robbed you, like came with a gun or a knife and literally robbed you of $1,000 or $5,000, you would like make a police report. You go on social media, you'll talk about it. I've been robbed. Somebody robbed me. 10 grand it took for me. They stole. Blah 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 blah. Yet a person will have 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand sitting in an investment account, in a retirement account, and have zero idea about what it is doing. They could literally be losing money in there and have zero idea. You know how many people don't confront their money? So that's part of the reason why it's not surprising that people get to retirement, quote unquote retirement, and they're completely unprepared. Well, how many times did they actually look at their money? How many times did they actually monitor along the way? Most people don't. Most people don't look at their money. So like I look at my money and finances every single day. So I know where it's at. Every day I look at my money, know where it's at, what's it doing? Did I make more money? Did I spend more money? Did my money increase or decrease? And then what is it doing? How is it performing? I look at my cash accounts. So I look at that, and I've got accounts at different banks. So I have a way where I monitor the whole thing. So I have a financial monitoring system where we monitor a dozen areas of your financial, we call them financial vital signs, right? So if I'm monitoring, and we can do this automatically. So if I'm monitoring a dozen areas of my financial life, do you think I can predict if there's going to be an issue? Do you think I can like act to do something about it? Do you think I can move or be better prepared for opportunities? Do you think I can avoid losses? Of course, because I put my attention on it. Now I don't spend all day looking at it, but I can put my attention on it and be like, okay, so this is where it's at. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. So I put my attention on it. Do you think that I'm in a better position by looking and confronting my money than somebody else who has zero idea about what's happening in the finances? Now, I want you to understand something about this. Most people who don't have a lot of money, they end up, Diamond Mind says, yes, absolutely. Most people who don't have a lot of money don't look at their money also because they're embarrassed and they're like, dude, I don't have any money to look at. Good, look at it. Look at the no money. Okay, look at the no money. Look at the empty accounts. There's been there's been times in my life where I would have an overdrawn account, and I was like, how is this even possible? Like, dude, I would get upset at myself. Now, of course, that was like when I was kind of starting to work in America and all these different things, and I was trying to learn about stuff. And then I remember one time I had, I think it was Bank of America. This was many years ago. Oh, this is so traumatic for me. I had I think Bank of America, if you overdraw your account and you don't put enough money into it, a week later they charge you extended overdraft fees. So you know you broke, you overdraw your account and you don't have money, and then they add more fees on top of the no money that you don't have. Oh my God. And so I had to go into the Bank of America place, and then I had to go in there and I had to talk to the bank manager, and I had to ask them to remove the overdraft fees and the extended overdraft fees. Oh, and it was just so, dude, it sucked. It was just so demoralizing. And I had to go there and they're like, well, you've never really overdrawn your account before, so that's good. So they waived the overdraft account. I think it was like $270. I was like negative $270 in the account. They like added overdraft fees or something. And it was so traumatic to me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to overdraw my account again. So I say that because I've been in all kinds of different financial positions before. So I understand what happens. But how did I get in that position in the first place? I wasn't looking at my money. I wasn't looking at my finances. So this is way before I got into the financial industry. And so when I got into the financial industry, I started to learn different things. And so now I monitor my financial health. And if you don't monitor your financial health, you could get one of my buddies, he has a business. He like reached out to me the other time and he was like, oh, one of my employees stole like 30 grand from me. I didn't notice it for like 3 months. And I'm like, dude, that could never happen in my business. Ever. Ever. Because it's not even possible that somebody was like steal 30 grand from me without me noticing. And it's because we do every week. Chelsea, my wife Chelsea, is the CFO of our business. Every week we do stats in our business. Every week we do stats in our business. On Thursdays we do stats in our business. We do cash flow, everything, and then every 2 weeks payrolls ran. So all that stuff's happening. So we monitor cash flow. We have an account and everything, but we still look at the cash flow, look at everything every week, and then we keep stats. We know what our gross income is every week, all that stuff. So we pay very close attention to the money. If you don't pay attention to your money, somebody else will take it from you. Sometimes the stock market will take it from you. Sometimes somebody will identity theft take it from you. All of that because you're not paying attention to it. So monitoring your finances is extremely important. And one of the things we do is we give people tools. We have a whole system that allows you to do that. And that way you can avoid financial cancer. Because look, nobody who went bankrupt planned. Well, let me rephrase that. Some people actually plan to go bankrupt. They bankrupt the company, on purpose. But most people who go bankrupt, like your average person who ends up going bankrupt, never plan to go bankrupt. Nobody started off saying, yeah, you know what? I think this would be a good year for me to go bankrupt. Nobody does that. So how does that happen? Is because it started happening slowly and they weren't paying attention and it suddenly hits you. It's the same thing with your health. Nobody plans on having a heart attack. Nobody plans on having a stroke. You're going through life, you have your habits, you're doing the things you're doing to do, and boom, you get hit with a heart attack, knocks you out. And you're like, damn, I need to take better. That's what everybody says. Something crazy happens and they say, I need to take better care of myself. Well, logically, if you were taking better care of yourself in the beginning, those things are less likely to happen, right? That's just logic. So how come we don't do it? Well, because people think monitoring their finances is too much work. They think they're too busy to do it. Same thing with your health. Most people think, oh, I'm too busy to go to the gym. I'm on the go so much. I don't have time to eat healthy. So they eat a bunch of crap. And then people wonder how come they're in poor health. Well, if you never work out, and sometimes they never go for a walk, in our business, we mandate people to take walks. Literally, it's in our what we call a battle plan. Everybody's got to take walks. We force you to take walks. So and then walks. When somebody gets hired in our business, they get an employee handbook, and one of the ways you actually handle exhaustion. This is some of the administrative tech that we use in our business. How do you keep in a good condition in an office space? Well, one of the things you encourage people to do is to take walks because a lot of people work on computers. So when you're working on computers, you're looking at something from a fixed distance. You're looking at your phone from a fixed distance. You're working on a computer from a fixed distance. So you get your entire look is like at that distance. So if you get exhausted, you have to go out and you have to look around. There's a whole technology around that. Why you want to go and walk and look around at things and look at the trees, look at the sky, look at other people, look at other beings, all of that. It helps pull you out of exhaustion. So we like tell everybody, hey, you got to go for a walk, go take a walk. So everybody kind of works it in. So Chelsea and I will have our lunch, then we'll go for a walk. We'll walk around here in our office park, go walk outside, all of that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to number one, do that. It's healthy for you to walk. Even if you don't work out extensively, it's just a healthy thing to do, just to walk around. So if it's also part of taking care of your health. You got your physical health, you got your mental health, you got your spiritual health, you got your financial health. So if you're not monitoring how well you're doing in these areas, it will deteriorate. If you don't pay attention to actually improve something, it will, I guarantee you 100%. If you don't actively try to improve something, it will deteriorate. If you don't pay attention to your relationships, they will deteriorate. If you don't pay attention to your car, it will deteriorate. If you don't pay attention to your health will deteriorate. If you eat a bunch of garbage, all that stuff, it will deteriorate your health. You will then be forced to confront it. When somebody has a heart attack, somebody has cancer. Now, cancer is all kinds of things. My dad had cancer, so it's all kinds of things that could impact you, right? So it's and then people have cancer scares, all these different things. But somebody has a stroke or a heart attack, it forces you to confront your body, your health. SMB uses it, breaking bad habits. You have to. And one of the worst habits people have on their money is they don't pay attention to it. They don't pay attention to their money. Sometimes people don't even know how much money they make. Hey, how much money do you make? I don't know. Let me calculate it. Happens all the time. How much you pay for this? They don't know. People don't even know how much the cost is to live. Listen, every day on this planet costs you money. Every single day you are alive on this planet costs you money. Every single day costs you money. And most people don't approach their money with that perspective. Every single day costs you money. You take whatever your lifestyle is, whatever it costs to live, your average lifestyle per month, you divide that into 30 or 31, that's your daily cost. That's what it costs you to run your life on a daily basis. The reason you have to measure it in money is because you don't produce all of the goods and services you consume. You don't go and hunt your own food. You don't go and make your own clothes. You don't do all the different stuff. So the amount of money you spend on clothes per month, for food, all these different, whatever it is, you tally all that up together. That is your cost of living. And most people do not know their cost of living. For most people, their finances are a mystery. You get it? The finances are a mystery. So when you understand, if your finances are a mystery, it shouldn't be mysterious why, if you don't reach the financial goals, you should be able to look at why, because you don't know what your finances are. Unfortunately, that's what happens with most people, even affluent people. It happens even more with affluent people. They make a lot of money, so they don't pay. They're like, dude, I make enough money to pay my bills, blah, blah. So they don't even pay attention. They don't even know. So if you don't know what's happening, Apple's coming out with the Apple Watch. They're trying to make it so that it's more and more predictable if somebody's having a heart attack. So they're trying to reduce heart attacks. And the way they're doing that is they're monitoring your vital signs, and they can tell if you're more likely to be stressed out, you could suffer from a heart attack or potentially a stroke and everything. And like if you have a heart attack, the Apple Watch can call the ambulance. I don't know if that's available now, but it's available now as plain. So a lot of this technology is going to be available here, right? So once you understand that it costs you a certain amount of money to run your life every single day. Now, why do I focus in on the day? What I focus on the day, because the day is one of your most shortest period of time that you can calculate for, as far as financially. Now you can calculate how much, some people calculate how much some things cost a month. Okay. But you want to look at the day, because then you can put your focus on your production. What am I going to produce today? Especially if you're a business person. Then you can look at, well, how much money do I need to make on a daily basis? So that way your attention is focused every single day. That's why I look at my money every single day. I want to be focused every single day. And if I'm looking at my money every day, I'm looking at my money 7 times a week. If you look at your money once a month, I've looked at my money. I've confronted my money 30 different times before you looked at your money once. Who's more likely to be in a better financial condition? The guy who's looking at his money 30 times a month, or the person who looks at their money once a month? Who's more likely to catch something? Who's more likely to know what's happening in the finances and where they're at, or where they need to adjust? Who's more likely to have better financial results? When you confront your money, you are actually drilling. You're drilling your ability to face something. You're drilling your ability to face what's there. You're like, okay, so this is what's real. This is what's there. Okay, I can confront that. Okay, what do I need to do about that? How do I handle that? I got this. You look at your reserves. Oh, my reserves are dwindling. Oh, crap. I got to do something about my reserves. because eventually your reserves will go to zero. If you got zero reserves, then everything depends on your cash flow. So everything depends on you going to work and produce it. What if you get sick? So if you tap out of your reserves and you get sick, then you can't produce anything. So what happens? That is a risk. That's when you boom, you can get hit with financial heart attack. And it is stressful. It is a stressful position to be in. So don't let yourself be in those kinds of positions. So some of the things we do for our clients, we have a financial monitoring system where we monitor 12 areas of their financial vital health. And we can let them know, like, hey, this area, we need to strengthen this area. Let's come up with a game plan to strengthen this specific area. And then also one of your areas is taxes. Like, I can't believe how many people overpay their taxes. Like, it is insane how many people overpay their taxes. It's crazy. So one of the areas you want to monitor is, what is your tax rate? How much taxes are you paying? And if I'm looking at my money, I'm looking at my cash accounts every day. So I'm looking at it 30 times a month, and I'm monitoring my taxes, and I'm looking at that. How likely is it that I'm able to handle my taxes better than somebody who meets with their accountant once a year to handle taxes? Who's more likely to be in a better position to handle something? The person who is looking at it. The person is looking at it. I weigh myself every day. My aim is to go to the gym 5 times a week. I weigh myself every day. You know why I weigh myself every day? Is because my weight is an outcome. It's not because I'm like, oh, I'm fat or this or that. I weigh myself every single day because I'm confronting the end result of my body. The day before, I put certain foods in my body. They're either going to be good or they're going to be poor food. Either going to be salty and it's going to help me, and I'm going to retain a bunch of water, or it's going to be good, healthy food for me, and the outcome is going to be positive. So I weigh myself every morning. And that's me confronting the decisions I've made. Right? The decision I made to eat what I ate yesterday shows up on the scale the day or the next day. All it is me confronting shit. All I'm trying to do is not be afraid to confront things, to confront people, to confront situations I find myself in. Diamond Mind likes that. So understand, you looking at your finances is vital to your financial health. But most people never monitor it. So we have a program where we help our clients to do that. We monitor a dozen areas of their finances for them, and they can see that. They can see the different areas of their finances and like, damn, we need to work on this area. We need to improve this area. I see how this area is impacting me, and here's what we need to do. So we literally create a game plan, and we execute on it. And then when we do all those things, it increases their net worth. Your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. Everybody's like, I want to build generational wealth. Okay, you build generational wealth by increasing your assets. Well, how are you going to increase your assets? There's got to be a plan or a pathway. You increase your assets by, you take some of your money that you earn and you use that to buy assets. And if you want to buy more assets, you use leverage, which means you can use funding to buy more assets. Yeah, thanks. Use funding to buy more assets. And the more assets you buy, especially assets that cash flow, produces more income back to you. It's not overly complicated, except most people don't know exact steps to take to do it. So we teach our clients that. We have a program where we take our clients through like a whole year-long program where clients work with us, and then we monitor their financial picture. Just like I look at my finances every day and makes me be more on top of it, we help our clients throughout the whole year. So, and then over the year, so imagine most people want to be financially literate. So financial illiteracy is a big problem in America, all around the world even. But if you're financially illiterate, or you're not as financially savvy as you want to be, you know that there's things out there you could be doing with your finances and all that kind of stuff that you're not doing. All of those, you know that exists, but you don't know exactly what it is, right? Maybe you're too busy to research it, or you watch some videos and then you kind of hear about it, but you don't really know how to implement it. Most things, somebody has to help you to implement it. You know, you want to set up a trust, You either have a program that does the trust, or you go to an attorney to help you set up a trust, right? Somebody got to either show you the pathway so that you can shortcut your way to do something, because they have successful actions that they're showing you. So we do. So if you are looking at your money regularly and you're meeting with a financial professional regularly, checking in monthly, checking in every few weeks, checking in yearly, checking in a quarterly, meeting quarterly, looking at your tax plan, looking at your finances, mapping out specific tax strategies to use to reduce your tax liability so that you can actually keep more of the money that you make. How likely are you to be more successful and make more money than somebody else who meets with their accountant once a year, who meets with their financial person once every 2 years, who just aren't monitoring their finances? Who do you think will end up wealthier, end up actually certainly building generational wealth year after year? Who do you think will actually avoid financial stress, avoid financial decline, avoid a financial heart attack? Who do you think is more likely to have a successful outcome? And who do you think to have a devastating financial outcome? Which one of those people? Obviously, is the person who is doing things with more regularity. If I go to the gym 3 times a week, 5 times a week for a year, who's more likely to get better results, me or the guy who works out once a year? Clearly, the person who does it with more frequency. So that's what we do for our clients, is create a level of frequency with them so that they're on top of everything. So we help them do all of these things. We help them monitor their finances, 12 financial vital signs, everything. And then we help them to use all of that information to build wealth faster. Because do you really want to be 80-year-old before you finally build wealth? Or do you want to do it faster? Well, if you want to do it faster, then you need to know the tools to use, and you need to pay attention to it so that you know what strategy to implement so you can actually accelerate your wealth building. So that you don't have to be like old and decrepit and you can't enjoy it anymore. And then finally, maybe you build wealth. That's how most people think about it. Hopefully, and even most people are told they need to have like $1 million or $3 million for retirement. So, and most people vastly underperform that goal. They don't even have enough for retirement. And even if they have $1 million in retirement or $2 million in retirement, they can't even take all of it out. They got to take it out in little bits at a time. So they don't even feel like a millionaire because they're still living on $30,000, $40,000 a year. Because even though they got these millions, they're still only paying them because they can't take out that money because they're going to run out of money. So they can't take out too much money. So we teach our clients all of that. How do you create cash flow sooner? How do you create cash flow now in your business, in your finances, so that you can actually accelerate your wealth? How do you strategically plan to reduce your taxes so you keep more of your money? How do you use the tax code and make the tax code your friend and understand how to use the tax code to your advantage versus, you overpaying the government? Do you know there's hundreds of billions of dollars that the government owes people that people never claimed? Hundreds of billions of dollars. And then after a few years, the government keeps all that money. So literally, you overpay the government. They owe you this money back. They're not going to send it to you. They don't find you and send it to you. And then you lose out on that money. Imagine what that money would have grown into. So what I was showing somebody the other day was helping them save $30,000 a year on taxes. $30,000 a year on taxes. And I explained to them how if we take that 30 grand a year, money that they're already overpaying, we take that 30 grand a year and we put it to work. And we can turn that into 1.1 million. The $30,000 a year over the next 15, 16 years, turn out 1.1 million. Money they were literally giving away. How crappy would you feel if 20 years from now, you look back and like, damn, I would have had an extra, 1.1 to 1.4 million dollars had I not overpaid my taxes. But you can't go back and fix it because it's too late. So you got to do it now. You got to do it in advance. And so that's one of the things we teach our clients to do. Anyway, if you want to understand how to monitor your finances, if you want to understand how to reduce your taxes, and it can actually prove and document the specific tax deductions and specific tax strategies to use, send me a DM. Especially if you're a business owner, if you're interested in real estate, if you want to understand how to use all of these different tools to actually reduce your taxable income, so that you pay little or nothing to the government. And you can actually then have more money to invest in assets, so you can measurably increase your net worth. Send me a DM. We have a program doing like a year-long program with our clients. We like work with you for the entire year on all this stuff: how to reduce your taxes, how to organize your finances, how to measurably increase your net worth, how to source the right investment deals, how to get into private deals, that the average public person cannot get into. All these different things will show you how to do that inside of that. So, and we actually help you to do it, help you to implement it. How to become your own bank. Everybody talks about that. I want to become my own bank. Most people who have policies set up to become their own bank is designed poorly. So it actually is not going to help them become their own bank. And then how do you actually use your policy to lend to people, thereby actually becoming the bank? Setting up a policy is just one step of it. How do you actually use the policy? How do you actually use different structures to become a lender? That is key. That's where you start making more and more. That's how you accelerate your money. You leverage money in one location to acquire assets or to be a lender in another location. You multiply your money. How do you actually execute on that? Those are the things we teach our clients. So if you want to know how to do that, send me a DM. We teach our clients through a year-long program. Does term apply? No, you can't build cash. Term policies has one primary benefit. It's called a death benefit. There's some that have that can pay you if you got sick or hurt. But term policies there's no cash building in there. So you can't use a term policy for building cash to leverage all that. It has to be a permanent life insurance policy. I own both. I own term and permanent life insurance. My permanent life insurance I use for cash building. My term policy is there for two reasons. Number one, if I die at a young age, for very little amounts of money, I can have millions of dollars get paid to my family through a life insurance policy. Also, if my health changes, my term policies are already opened. So if my health changes and I max out all of my permanent policy, meaning I'm putting the maximum amount of money into each policy and I can't put any more money into it, then I will switch one of my term policies to a permanent policy and be able to use that if my health changes and I couldn't get life insurance anymore. Because sometimes you can get declined for life insurance, meaning you can have lots of money. I mean, we had a client who financially has the ability. His plan was putting $250,000 a year, $250,000 a year is how much he wanted to put into a life insurance policy, and he got declined. $250,000 a year. So it didn't matter how much money the client had. Sometimes the risk level is the insurance company may not approve you. So a lot of times people may buy a permanent policy and then also buy some term policies so that they can convert that permanent policy, that term to a permanent policy later. Because once you have a term, most companies will let you switch it to a permanent. So you gotta understand the mix of the different policies, how they work, what they do. We teach our clients that. We teach them in detail how the policies work specifically to them. Yesterday, I showed some of our clients' policies. They range anywhere from clients putting in $5,000 a month to clients putting in $100,000 a year. And we're storing capital in here. You earn a higher interest rate than you would get at the bank. You can leverage it for other assets while keeping your money working at the same time. You can actually even use your life insurance policy to qualify for a mortgage. I'll talk about that sometime. You can use your life insurance policy to qualify for a mortgage. So you can literally keep your money in your policy while it's earning interest. Use that to qualify for a mortgage. All of that. I've got to run to a meeting here shortly, so I don't have time to explain Index Universal Life. You can always send me a message on there. So anyway, so if you guys want to understand all these things in great detail, how to actually use life insurance, become your own bank, and that's just setting up a policy is just one step. Most people can. And by the way, you can't just call any regular insurance company and have them set up a policy for you, properly set it up for you to become your own bank. Most of the people at an insurance company, think about it. You call a customer service. How do you know that person's an expert at it? How do you know they've done? It's just somebody on the customer service line. Doesn't mean they're knowledgeable about all the different products and services. That person could just been working there for 2 weeks ago. They got hired. You don't even know that. So you want to deal with somebody who's an expert at doing those types of policies. And then actually then showing you how to use it, because you have to then use it for something. then how to use it and what assets to use it for, all those things. So send me a message if you want to, send me a DM if you want to understand all of those. We'll teach you how to actually use it, how to monitor your finances and all of that. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys.